Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is kind of a different one. I've been away from the fish room for quite a while because I live in Kentucky and I live on the lake, and I'm gonna be honest, I procrastinated a lot about making videos and I just haven't got around to doing it again because mainly it's been summertime for me, and I'd like to think that I'm a big lake person, so is my wife, so we try to go out on the lake a lot and enjoy the summertime a little bit differently, and I kind of pushed all the fish room stuff to the side. It's September. It's starting to be falling in. I'm going to have more time in the house and more time to do fish room stuff and kind of get back to what I wanted to do with this channel and what I wanted to do with the fish room. I know a lot of you guys are asking about the auto water change system and some other stuff about the room, like how I did what am I trying to say? The air and whatnot. I'd like to go through all of that and kind of revitalize the channel. Let me show you how much of a wreck my fish room is right now. It is kind of embarrassing. All I've been doing for probably the last 5 months is I'll come down here about once a week and do a water change on everything. I feed the fish every day, every other day, basically. And I've just kind of been growing out all the angelfish that I had. So the fish room is a literal mess. Check it out. Look how gnarly the kitchen is. We have this tank kind of on life support right now. My wife's 75 gallon. If you remember, that was upstairs. She had the blue cars in it. We were kind of worried that it was on this floor. So it's right above this ceiling hoist, and it's a lot of weight. It's like 1,000 pounds. And we kind of got sketched out about that. When you would walk in that room, the floor would kind of move a little bit. So we decided to move the tank. And when we went to move it, it's back here. If you can see down here, we didn't empty out all of the substrate. We also didn't empty out all of the water. I mean, we had it really low. We got all the fish out, went ahead and moved them. But the tank, we just kind of got really low. We thought we could carry it. Forewarning, you can't carry something like that. That was probably roughly 300 pounds between two people, and we just couldn't do it. It was too difficult. We made it all the way down these steps, and right there, we dropped it. It was unfortunate, but I don't really trust that tank now. It might even have a crack on the bottom. Ever since we dropped it, we just left it there. So the new plan is probably this coming weekend, we're going to go grab a new 75 gallon, and we're going to set the 75 gallon up right here on this wall across from my fish rack. And that way it's out of our room and we're not worried about it being on the stairs. So in the meantime, we do have like all of the, we got a blue car in here. We got some Corys in here that are going to go back in that 75 gallon whenever we get that going. So in the meantime, let me set the camera up and let's get this fish room cleaned up and looking more like normal. Thought you guys might like this, like behind the scenes footage of me cleaning this room up. I had so much stuff in the floor from this summer. I would just like carry stuff down and put it in the floor. I had to get all that out. That tank, moving it outside, was incredibly heavy. I just decided to drag it out. I tried to vacuum a little bit, but I definitely need a better vacuum down here. I need to fix my shop vac. And then of course, here's the kitchen. This is mainly just cleaning up all this stuff. If you have a fish room, you realize how quick you dirty little items up, and glass lids and filters and whatnot. I was kind of really happy to get all this clean and put away in the right spot. Okay, on to the Fluval Flex. We have my wife's old canister filter attached to this right now because we overstocked this tank whenever we moved that 75 gallon. So I'm gonna do a big water change on this tank, fix the lid because the lid's kind of janky right now, clean the sponge filters out, and I'm gonna move that canister filter into this tank because the walls on it are flat and the Fluval is curved, and it's kind of making this really difficult. The good news is it's Friday, and tomorrow we're going to go pick up a brand new 75 gallon to put on her old stand. So it's only going to have to last for one day with fresh water and fresh filters, or cleaned filters, obviously. So let's knock this out. This tank looks really good when it's cleaned up. It's, like I said, overstocked. I've beat that to death, but I'm just kind of cleaning the filter, draining it out, and refilling it with fresh water, dechlorinating it, and kind of getting it ready to put into that 75 gallon, or kind of getting it ready to move all these fish into that 75 gallon tomorrow. So this was a slow process, but I did knock this out. Here's the pride and joy of the fish rack. These tanks have not been cleaned out in probably 3.5 to 5 months. So I just went through each tank, did an algae scrub on the front of the tank, and I was doing water changes the entire time this was happening. It was doing an auto water change. You can see a lot of the fish that I have in these tanks. They're really beautiful fish. Soon these are going to be for sale. I just need to list them on the website. All right, everybody, check it out. Got it all cleaned up. I think the 75 is going to look super cool right there. Hopefully we can go in the morning and grab that. Hopefully it doesn't rain or anything and just an easy day. Here's the 33 after we got it cleaned up. It's really murky right now. I took the 2 sponges out of the back of this tank and cleaned them. And like I said, obviously this tank is overcrowded, but until tomorrow, there's not much I can do. I've just been trying to keep these guys healthy and alive. Took that pothos and wrapped it around, makes it look a little bit better. For my little guppy tank over here in the corner, this thing is still kicking strong. Check out all these little guppies. I haven't done a water change on this tank in 6 months. The only thing I do to this tank is add water. I test the parameters and it's all good. There's no problems here. There's a little bit of plant die-off just because I had so much frog or duckweed at the top. I tried to pull a lot of the duckweed out, but you know how duckweed is if you have it. I mean, it just every week you could just pull more and 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 more out. So I'm just gonna have to leave it like that for now. The only thing that's in this tank is that little sponge filter, and then again, this plant growth. This tank kind of manages itself. I love this tank. This is like the easiest tank that I have, and I'll never get rid of it. This is the first tank that I got that got me back into fish keeping. I picked it up at a garage sale for 10 bucks, and that's what kind of led into the entire fish room again, thinking, you know what, I'm going to get back into this. So there's our 33. We removed that canister filter. We stuck it down here for right now. Went ahead and cleaned that out. And I just got it kind of cycling again with all these angelfish down here. These are striped and koi. I'm sure you can see them. These are all under an inch. All the plants you see in these tanks came out of my wife's 75. So all of this plants will go back into the 75. But I am going to add substrate and plants to these tanks. I've realized that what I wanted to do with this at the very beginning was kind of breed and sell fish for profit. I thought that was a really fun idea. I've thought about it for years. And I think that's still something that I'm going to do, but it's not going to be my main journey kind of going forward. I'm going to maybe just deal with the angelfish on a smaller scale and try to keep more fish that I want to keep on my rack, because there's so many beautiful fish that I love, and I'd love an opportunity to have them. But I think just trying to breed becomes a little too much at sometimes. Look how beautiful these Acaras are. 3 big ones in here. This is a male and 2 female. And they regularly lay eggs in this tank and hatch out. And I don't pull the babies. I just kind of let them eat them, unfortunately, because again, it's so much work. And if you can't tell, I mean, I have so many tanks of angels already. Angels, angels, angels. Here's some Acaras in here. Check this out. Really beautiful. These are probably 1.5 inches right now. I am looking to sell these fish. I've been kind of, what's the word? Lazy about putting them on my website and lazy about listing them on eBay, but it is time for me to do it. I need to kind of scale down a bit and kind of get back into maybe some different colored angels, and again, some fish that I would rather keep instead of just so many angels. So if you're interested in any fish, check out my website, or check out my eBay link too if you want to do it on there. I went ahead and I bought the bags to ship them in. I got the foam, the boxes, and the only thing I'm waiting on is an oxygen tank so I can put fresh oxygen in the water or in the bag, just to truly ensure that they're going to be okay in shipping. I did leave a lot of the algae on the side of the tanks. I personally like that look. I think the fish like that look too. If I was a fish, it kind of gives it something, especially because I don't have any substrate or foliage in any of these tanks. Again, I think I'm going to do something like this in all of them, even the larger tanks. Check out this really thick algae back here in the back. I'm not sure what that is, but it grows in some of my tanks like that, super thick. Look at this guy. All right, So that's the tank wall, a little bit of rambling, but if you were interested in it, I am going to do a video about the water change system. I have a few people that have asked me about that, and I think that's going to be an upcoming video for sure. Here's a little sneak peek if you haven't seen it before. You can manually just change water in one tank at a time. But I'll do a video over that, my air pump system, and kind of do some more videos in the fish room I'm really excited about. Here's our little 15-gallon Fluval Flex. You can tell this thing has got all kinds of stuff in it. Huge plant right here. This just has guppies in it. Simple water change on this today too. And then the 180 is going to be its own video. Hopefully some point this winter I can get around to building a big stand for that, and I want it to sit right there on that wall. I just think that's going to be so cool. So the fish room cleaned up pretty well. Here's a sneak peek again. Like I said, that will be gone tomorrow. It'll be up in there with a 75-gallon. Here's a new mop bucket I got for the fish room. If you don't have a mop bucket for your fish room, invest in one now. I've had so many big problems with water leaking. Things just happen. I mean, I had a tank down here bust I haven't replaced yet. Things go crazy. You need a mop bucket. You need a shop vac. And then here's this. I got it all cleaned up. Here's some of my fish books, old aquarium, and just tons of vintage fish stuff. I'll have to do a whole video on this stuff if you guys are interested. Check out this old glass aquarium poster. And that's it, guys. All right, one more thing before I let you guys go. I bought these to put underneath of my fish rack because I had a tank bust down here, and I recently had an air hose come loose up here and dump about 15 gallons of water, like back siphoned out of the tank onto the ground. I didn't catch it in time. Hopefully these new water alarms prevent that. I'm going to put one on each side. And a big shout out to Mexicali Fish Keeper, who was super nice and gave me a shout out in one of his live streams and had a lot of nice stuff to say about me, and I really appreciated it. I needed that personally. I procrastinate a lot, and I kind of put certain things on the back burner in my life, but he really gave me the encouragement to kind of make another video and keep this thing going. So if there's anything you want to see, or you have questions, or if you want to see a future video, leave the comments down below and I'll get around to doing that for you. And until next time, check out my store, joshsfishspot.com, and peace.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.